What is good, yo? It's your boy Ty back here with another video. In this video today, we are going to be doing another episode of our Extreme Makeover MyTEAM edition, in which you guys send in your squads. Tell me how much MT you have, whether you are on current gen or next gen, and then I basically go over your squads, make some simple adjustments to make you guys the best squad possible. Now, as we dive into this episode today, if you are new to the channel, make sure to go follow me on Twitter, TyDeBo24, as well as smash that subscribe button as we're on the road to 90,000 subscribers. First squad sent in here is from HK on Twitter, who does have 1 million MT possible. Now, you guys can see he likes to use reward cards and for the most part ball on a budget. So I'm just gonna make some slight adjustments to his team right away to just make things a little bit better. First of all, just get that buddy healed evoed, and you're gonna notice he's gonna be a lot better. Second thing, Caruso. I do like Caruso, but I think if you add Penny Hardaway, you're gonna have more success. Now with this second unit, there's a couple of things that you could do. Now the first thing I think you need to do is add this guy right here in Rudy. Now you can add him to the shooting guard or to the small forward or power forward position. I think either position is gonna be just fine. Eddie Jones is fine here, but with the makeup of your team, I think you need some height as far as a pure lock, and the guy I'm gonna plug in is AK-47, okay? This is really what I'm thinking. If you do want to move Eddie Jones to the 2 over Buddy Hield, you can do that, but I'd pick one and get rid of one and then plug in AK right there. Now your squad's looking a ton better, and this is a squad I feel like you can go out there and compete at the highest level with. Next squad here is sent in by Marug on Twitter, who says he loves his starters, but his bench could use a little bit of work. Now he's on next gen and says he likes his starters, but his bench is pretty weakened. I mean, he's right. His starters are a lot better than his bench. So here's the first thing I'm going to tell you. Okay, pick one and get rid of one between Buddy Hield and James Harden. Okay, that's the first thing I'm going to say. If you do run AI with Buddy Hield and James Harden as well as Glenn at the 4, you're going to get fried. You have no height out here. But we're going to do some things just to help you out. First thing, add George Mikan at the center instead of Vooch. Glenn is fine, but I do think you're going to have more success if you do run Jonathan Isaac. And heck, what I would do, let's say you want to get rid of Buddy Hield. He wasn't evoed for you, so that's probably what I would do. Just plug Glenn right in here to the 3. That is fine. I feel like this squad is a lot better defensively than the first squad you had, and that's going to be your big impact. This next squad here is sent in by Zach, who is on current gen and says he has 300k to work with. So if you're on current gen, I'm just going to start with the guys I like. I like Dame, Kawhi. Scotty Barnes is not very good in general. He's not bad, it's just his release isn't great. I mean, if you love him, you can keep him because you will see my replacement. Rudy, incredible. Jaren, great. So out of your bench, this is the first guy to replace, or out of your starters. Out of your bench, Caron Butler cannot play. I'm not even moving him to the end of the bench. And then Glenn, and I guess I do like Mobley, Jaws okay, and Wings okay. So the first addition that I would recommend making is this guy right here. You can pick up Paul George, even if he's not fully badged, for like what, 50,000 MT. You have 300,000. For another thing, instead of Scotty Barnes, I think you're gonna enjoy Scottie Pippen just a little bit more. Okay, release-wise, Scottie Pippen's release a little bit better, gonna give you a little bit more on defense. Basically thinking every way he's better than Scotty Barnes. And the last addition is at the shooting guard position. I'm going to go with this guy right here in James Harden, okay? I think you plug him in, you're going to have a lot of success. Now, if you want to pick up Penny Hardaway for Ja Morant, you can definitely do that. If you want to pick up John Wall for Ja Morant, you can do that as well. Both those guys are going to defend a little bit better. And since you're probably going to handle the ball with Harden more than your point guard with your bench unit, those are some other things I might recommend. But this squad is looking quite a bit better. Next squad here is sent in by Andre on Twitter, who says he has 200,000 MT to work with and that he wants a center for current gen. And he put in parentheses, not Mikan. Okay, so we'll avoid the George Mikan thing. Look, I don't mind Mikan, but if you don't like Mikan, that is absolutely okay with me. If you're on current gen, perfect opportunity for JJJ. Look, I love Jaren Jackson Jr. and I'm higher on Jaren Jackson Jr. than a lot of players. Now, with that being said, is there others best centers better than Jaren? Absolutely. You know, D-Robs of the world are better than him, but I think for his price, a very good option. The second thing I see is that shooting guard position. Now, it's tough if you only have 200k. Obviously, James Harden is a guy I would definitely suggest because I think James Harden is an absolute hooper. Eddie Jones is an alternate if you don't want to spend a good amount of MT. I'm going to plug in James Harden, okay? I think James Harden with John Wall is a very good pairing, kind of a defensive player, offensive player. I think this squad can definitely hold it down. This squad here is sent in by Noe on Twitter, and he says he has 20,000 MT to work with. Now, here's my first suggestion, okay? For any of you guys out there watching that do run a 13-man lineup that needs some MT, sell some cards, okay? Sell Michael Jordan, sell DeAndre Ayton, and get rid of Chris Paul. That's the first thing I'm going to do, okay? Then the problem lies is you've got a lot of small forward power forwards. Now, I'm not going to be a dominant force and tell you exactly who to keep and who to stay. I'll say leave your starters. So choose from your friends. Kuzma is fine. Scotty Barnes is fine. Jonathan Isaac, Mikal Bridges, all these cards are fine. If it was me, I would probably go like this. For this specific squad, just go like this. He said he's current gen, which leads me to want to plug Jaren Jackson Jr. into this lineup. But we'll see. We'll see. We do got to get the shooting guard in order first. And I'm going to plug in Eddie Jones. If you're on current gen, Eddie Jones is an absolutely incredible 3-and-D player that is pretty cheap, okay? And by the time you do sell some cards, you should have a decent amount of MT. Now, I'm going to, for this squad, plug in George Mikan. If you want to plug in Jaren Jackson Jr., I'm not going to hate you. If you want to plug in Mobley at the center, he might get his strength's a little low, so I don't know about that. But that's just another option. Center position is really tough, honestly. And I don't mind Nate Thurman at all, especially if you can have success with it. Next squad here is sent in from Jay on Twitter, who is on current gen. He has 500,000 MT to work with. Now, I just want to first off say if you have this type of a squad, you're doing really good for yourself, okay? And especially if you're on current gen, I absolutely love Draymond Green. Kawhi at the 3, it's personal preference. I prefer him at the 2, but if you like him at the 3, that's fine. Kobe, Clay, I really have nothing to say out in this squad. Now, you're telling me I have to, make some changes to the squad. Here's the changes I'm making. If you're on current gen and don't have Rudy, I don't know what to tell you, okay? Rudy is him on current gen. So I'd plug him in maybe for AK straight away if that's what you want to do. And then the other thing is I do like Jaren Jackson Jr., but at some point, you might want to make the upgrade to David Robinson. Those are the two things I recommend the most. Obviously, at that point, you probably won't have that much MT. Andrew Wiggins is fine at 3. If you like AK more, you can plug AK in at the 3 as well, or slide Rudy over. Really depends. But I think with those two simple things and you getting Allen Iverson off your squad, you'll be doing good for yourself. Last squad for today was sent in by KJ, who is on a next gen and has 500,000 MT to work with. Now, the first thing I'll say is if you know me, you know I love the John Wall and James Harden duo. I absolutely love the duo. I'm not the biggest fan of John Collins. He's fine, though. Your bench, I really don't hate it all. Outside of Mobley might get babied at that 5. So here's the deal. Honestly, if you have 500K, again, you already have Rudy in your lineup. You're probably out of the range of LeBron and Giannis. Really want my opinion, look, Scotty Barnes, with all due respect, I don't mind you. And honestly, if you want to maybe move him here instead of John Collins, you can do what you want to do. But I'm loving Paul George's price right now. And so I'm pretty high on Paul George. Going to plug him right in there. Just going to leave John Collins right here. But the next thing I'd worry really about is this backup center position. Now, there's not a lot of centers in 2K I love right now. Mobley's fine. Strength's just a little low for my liking. So just gonna plug Paul George into that starting lineup. Just get you a real good on-ball defender with 60 total badges and work with a way better release than your previous option. Alright, that is going to wrap it up for our episode today of our Extreme Makeover MyTEAM edition. Hopefully you guys did enjoy it, and if you did see your squad, hey, I'm glad. If you missed it, leave it down below in the comments, or if you have any questions, leave them down below in the comments. I'm sure somebody would be happy to answer if I can't get to your specific comment. Drop a like on the video, subscribe if you are new, and as always, man, I love you guys. Have a blessed day.